Joy.
And welcome to the Shenandoah Public Library, one of our Imagine 2020 sewing classes. And this one's going to be just a short class where we're talking about how do you start and plan a project. We're going to talk to you about patterns, we're going to talk to you about supplies,
Right.
and we're going to talk to you about making your ideas and your imaginations into reality.
Come alive.
Stick with us.
Yes.
So,
Well, Joy, the first thing we have, and it's something you found online, I believe,
yes.
is this dragon and or unicorn hooded cowl. And you have modified yours. Here's a dragon hooded cowl, and it would be a baby size. This is the baby size because that's how much fabric we had. So we made the baby one out of this, and what you did was you printed off the pattern, and then when you're getting ready to do your project, read all the way through the pattern first to see what it's going to involve.
Or if you're watching one of our videos, make sure you watch the whole thing before you start sewing.
Right. And one of the things that this says right here, and if you can see it, it says difficulty. So if you're a new sewer, you're not going to want to pick something that's very difficult. You're going to want to pick something that you can do and enjoy and want to do again. And it talks about what it makes and what skills you need. And the skills it talks about is a ladder stitch. Well, in here you can find how to do something like that too. So this one has a lot of different skills involved in it. It also talks about materials and tools. And the thing is to gather those things together before you start your project.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about where would you find your supplies? Well, one way is that after you read through, you can go to a local fabric store or sometimes your local department store and purchase the yardage that you need. If you want specific colors or specific materials, you might need to go to a fabric store. So if you have a specific idea where you're like, I really, really, really want to be a pink unicorn with a purple horn, then you got to make sure that you have pink and purple fabric.
Absolutely. And this tells you exactly how much of each one of those pieces of fabric you will need. And it tells you for the different size cowls. And here's the pattern. We don't know if you can see it all. It's been used.
Yes.
And because this is printed out on just a home printer, you have to tape it together. And this talks about matching the diamonds right there and lining it up and for which size. And you will notice these yellow dashed lines on here. That is a size that I was going to use. First of all, we did the small one, and that's the baby one. And then we put it back together, tape this part back in, and we cut the one that we're going to work on today.
And so sometimes you can go and purchase the fabric that you need, but sometimes you just want to see what you can make out of what you have. Right. And actually this one that I'm wearing, the Totoro hood that I made, I saw this pattern and I knew that I wanted to make a hood, but I didn't want to be a dragon or a unicorn. I wanted to be a Totoro.
There you go.
So I used the pattern for the hood. I made my own kind of horns based on what I read in here. I cut out my own little appliques, added my own ribbon, and all of the material that I used for this were things that I just had upstairs that I had purchased as remnants and just had around. Same with this one. This is another Coley Night pattern for a dragon, and I wanted to make a dragon. And it was like 11 o'clock at night when I started planning my project. And so I couldn't go to the store.
Of course not.
So I just went upstairs and I started digging through my stash to see what kind of fabrics and things I had. And some of the things that I started out with weren't the colors I ended up with because I didn't think I had enough.
Sure.
I had everything I wanted except a light purple. And I really wanted a light purple. So I was going to go to the store and buy some, and I talked to my mom and said, maybe you should go shopping with me. I just need the tiniest bit of light purple. And she said, I think I have something, and dug through her stash and found just a little scrap of this purple chenille.
Which you would have had to buy a bigger piece.
Yeah, and I would have not used most of it.
You're perfect to go.
So that's one way that you can do it too, is just imagine from what you have, and that's our unicorn that we're going to be making in our next video. we saw what fabric we had that people had generously donated
Yes.
to the library, and we started talking about, well, it's not quite big enough to make it according to the pattern. So what modifications can we make to make it work?
And that's what you did, and that's one of the things that you have with your
Yes.
scarf.
You'll notice on this hood here that it has the cowl part that is attached, and you just put some buttons on it. Well, I decided for my pattern that I wanted a scarf instead to keep me warm in the winter, and so I could use it to have fingers.
There you go. Your
So,
pockets and
yep, little pockets for my hands and fingers.
you're good.
So I made some changes to the pattern, and we're actually going to be doing some of those alterations in our video.
Yes.
If you want to make one like this, you just follow the pattern exactly as it's written by Coley,
Mhm.
and you'll get one like that. If you follow our video instructions, you'll get one that has a scarf on it,
Like this.
like this.
Ready?
I'm ready to imagine
Okay.
our story, Star Ann.
All right, I am
Okay,
too.
and